Hey guys, so welcome back to another rumor, speculation, rambling type video. Really quick, obviously, this video will be dedicated to this house. Like I said last week, I'm trying to break these up so I can kind of focus on one house at a time in these speculation maps, just because, again, it's a lot to ask of you guys to sit there and commit to listening to me talk for 15, 20, 30 minutes about rumors and stuff, So, still splitting these things up, focus on the things that I think are interesting, that get my attention the most. Again, this house, one that I'm really hoping is what I think it is, because it could be exciting. So I hope that it is indeed an actual house this year. Obviously this is all still speculation, nothing's official. At this point in time, we only have 2 confirmed houses: Chucky, The Last of Us. Speaking of which, I promised you guys that I was going to do a merch video for The Last of Us release, and when I went to the park, they were sold out of all the Last of Us merchandise. So we'll talk about that a little later. But I'm gonna grab a drink. I'm gonna let you guys look at the speculation map again, and when we get back, we'll start talking. Alright, welcome back. Got my drink. So let's talk. Now, when you look at this, not sure for you guys, but for me, the first thing I think of is Dungeons and Dragons. It's wishful thinking, and the talk around the community is pointing in a different direction. So before you roll your eyes and stuff, it's probably not going to be a Dungeons and Dragons house. But it just got me really excited. And I mean, honestly, on my desk here, I keep a cup just full of dice, because I play Dungeons and Dragons every week with my friends. Again, more than likely won't be a Dungeons and Dragons house, but I'm just trying to speak it into existence right here, right now, to hopefully one day in the future have a house dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons, just because it's so fun. The world is infinitely vast. The multiple directions that you could take a house set in that universe, it's the possibilities are endless. Again, not what's looking like it's gonna be, but I would like that one day. So if anyone from Halloween Horror Nights is watching this, I doubt it, but if you are, please, I'm asking nicely. But we're not talking about what I want. We're going to talk about the rumors. And honestly, what the rumor is actually pretty exciting too. And that is that this house will be based on Dueling Dragons. Throw up the picture here just in case, anyone who's watching hasn't gotten to experience Dueling Dragons. Now, for those of you who also don't know, when Halloween Horror Nights was held at Islands of Adventure, there was a scare zone set up in the Lost Continent, I think that's what it's called, area of the park. And it was themed around Dueling Dragons, the battle of fire and ice. And that scare zone was called Immortal Island. And it was the Ice Queen and the Fire King just at war with one another, with their demons and minions just destroying everything around each other. And this was before my time going to Halloween Horror Nights, so I didn't get to experience it firsthand. But just looking at the pictures that I'm going to throw up here for you to see too, it looks awesome. It looks very much like something I would enjoy because it inhabits that fantasy world that, again, I wanted Dungeons and Dragons, but this is good too. So it's a pre-existing property. Just to throw, I mean, I'll keep throwing up images just for you guys to get ideas of what characters in there would look like. You know, again, demons, goblins, trolls, just so many cool things to see. And to, like, things that they could add in the house, because if you didn't get to experience Dueling Dragons itself, the queue was phenomenal. Honestly, it was one of my favorites growing up because you got to go down different paths. Because again, it's the battle of fire and ice. And when you split off and made your decision, you saw all these knights, you know, destroyed by fire or frozen in ice. And it was very dark, not gonna lie. Just, you know, as a kid seeing, I was like, oh, you know, it was pretty frightening to see. But for horror nights, that could be really fun. And it opens up a very fun possibility for them to do in the house, which is giving attendants that option to split into different directions. I'm not sure how well it would work or how easily it would work. Correct myself. Just because of how many people attend the event and how crazy it would be to manage that split in the house, and how long of a split would it be. So it's a challenging idea, I feel, but it could be something really fun. Like, you know, you get to a certain point in the house and you go down the fire path, and maybe it's what happens when the Fire King wins. You see just the destruction that he causes. And if you go down the ice path, then you see what happens if the Ice Queen wins, you know, everyone frozen. So if this was going to be in any particular building, my choice would be for where Spirits of the Coven was last year, because if you got to attend, you'll remember that house was pretty long, and I feel like that kind of would be something necessary for this house if it is, you know, what the direction that they go in. You know, it could just be what they did maybe for Icons a few years ago, where it's just the last room and, you know, they swap out who won the battle every set. So, you know, there's a couple options on the table there that they could run with, but my money would go to them having just a split. Again, just letting you have the choice to see who you wanted to win. And really that kind of creates a need for people to go into that house multiple times, because, you know, you go in and you want to see each side, and that could potentially make it the most popular house if, you know, everyone else is into it. I mean, again, I'm really into the fantasy stuff, so maybe it's just me who's really excited about it, but just from everything that I've seen within the community, everyone talking about it, you know, it's all pretty similar ideas, and I think a lot of people would be really happy to see it. It's still something kind of fresh because we haven't seen it in almost 20 years. A lot of us, again, myself included, have never seen it. So it's something fresh for a lot of us, and it's something nostalgic for folks who have been going since, you know, at least, you know, I think it was, yeah, Horror Nights 13. So, you know, again, 19 years. So yeah, that, I think this could be something very fun. I didn't want to drag this on too much and really linger on it. I kind of just wanted to, again, throw up some visuals for you guys to see, you know, just to maybe, again, speak this into existence. So I think that's where we're gonna wrap it for talking about this house. You know, didn't want to dive too deeply into the story. If you would like to see the actual story of the Immortal Island Scare Zone, I'm gonna put the link in the description down below for the Halloween Horror Nights Wiki, and it's got all these pictures that I've used for references. It's got the backstory of the characters, so please definitely check it out. And you know, I mean, if you're really into Horror Nights, take some time to scroll around, because you will fall into a rabbit hole and just be reading for hours and hours. You know, it happens to me, so fair warning. So before we wrap, like I mentioned before, went to try to make a video for the Last of Us merchandise that was released in the parks last week, and when I went, sold out everywhere, both in Islands of Adventure and studios. So didn't get to really take any pictures, didn't get any videos. When I was walking around, there wasn't even the display pieces for it, so I couldn't even use that as a visual for you guys to see. So I think maybe we should keep that in mind for merch this year. You know, obviously right now it's not all the merch out, and they're gonna have limited quantities to pick from, but I don't think in the last few years there has been a piece of merchandise for any of the announcements that has sold out so quickly. I mean, again, if I'm wrong, please correct me down below, but I think it's a good sign for things to come, especially for the Last of Us house, just because that initial excitement is so strong. You know, we're a couple months out still, and people are cleaning them out of, it was a shirt and a mug, and there were no shirts and no mugs anywhere I went. So I think that's a good sign. Bad sign if you're trying to get a shirt right now. Good sign for probably how this house is going to turn out. So we're going to wrap it here. I think, actually, I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm not sure which house I want to talk about next, and who knows, they might just start blowing through announcements really soon, and there won't be any need to be doing any of these picking apart speculation videos, and we'll just talk about actual announcements. But I'll throw the speculation map up here again. Let me know what you would like me to talk about next. You know, we talked about the Oddfellow, possible Jack house last week. Obviously now we just rambled on for probably closing in on 15 minutes for a possible Dueling Dragons house, Immortal Islands. I can already tell you everyone's going to be referring to it most likely as the Dueling Dragons house. So yeah, let me know what you guys want me to talk about, and let me know, do you want to see a Dueling Dragons house? Are you into it? Do you hate it? Do you think fantasy doesn't have a spot to really, you know, belong in Horror Nights? I will say, think you're wrong. Fantasy is great at Horror Nights. Love it. Like I've said 1,000 times in this video already. But again, I love to have these discussions with you guys, so let me know down below. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that usual good stuff, because again, I really appreciate all of your help. You know, I've seen kind of steady growth in these last few weeks of putting up these videos, and you know, I owe it all to you guys. I kind of keep flip-flopping back and forth between if I'm gonna keep, being consistent with these rumors, speculation videos, and just kind of focus on Horror Nights itself when the event is going on. But seeing this kind of steady growth has definitely encouraged me to stick with it. So let me know, give me your thoughts, your opinions. I'd love to hear it, love to talk to you guys. So until we talk again, stay groovy.